Defiance Fitness. I'm John Rivera,
And I'm Christine.
and we're students at Kaiser University of Sports Medicine and Fitness Technology, and we're going to be talking to you about the anaerobic energy system. All right. The anaerobic means without oxygen. The anaerobic energy system is a system that is used without oxygen during any exercise that we perform. There are two energy systems that are associated with this energy system, and that is the endosine triphosphate phosphocreatine system and the anaerobic glycolysis system, which is also known as rapid glycolysis or blood lactate accumulation.
Alright, so how is energy released from ATP and PCR? Well, let me show you how. You have your ATP molecule, which consists of adenosine molecule and 3 phosphate molecules. To get energy from ATP, we have an enzyme called ATPase. And what ATPase does is that it breaks off a phosphate molecule, which is called hydrolysis. And when the phosphate is broken off from ATP, it creates an electrical spark. And this electrical spark is energy. And this energy we can use in a contraction. When this phosphate molecule is broken down, you now have an ADP, so adenosine diphosphate, and a freestanding phosphate molecule. When there is an increased concentration of ADP, it fuels an enzyme activity called creatine kinase. And what creatine kinase does is it does something similar to ATPase, where instead of splitting ATP, it splits off the phosphocreatine molecule through hydrolysis. After hydrolysis, you get a freestanding phosphate and a creatine molecule. And the reason for this PCR breakdown is to gain more ATP. And how that happens is that this phosphate molecule goes through the system again of attaching itself to an ATP molecule to get ATP.
During fast glycolysis, we have the breakdown of glucose or stored glycogen, which is breakdown by 10 different enzymes that will equal out to 2-pyruvate. Now, these 2-pyruvate will metabolize into lactate. Now, once it metabolizes into lactate, you get your lactate accumulation, which is your lactate buildup. Then you will have the decrease in performance if you're working past your threshold. And then our bodies naturally have 36 ATPs. And then once it's used, 4 of them are used over biologically, and we end up with 32 ATP at the end.
Having knowledge about these anaerobic energy systems can be utilized with muscular activity in creating muscular hypertrophy exercise programs. As a trained individual increases their strength, they also increase lactate tolerance, increase size of fast twitch muscle fibers, increase rest levels of ATP, PCR, and they also free creatine and glycogen in muscles. So you might be thinking, what exercises in sports actually utilize these anaerobic energy systems? Exercises that are short in duration, have high intensity, and require immediate and rapid energy supply is basically any exercise that involves thrusting a heavy weight upward, like how John is demonstrating. When it comes to the predominant energy pathway for strength and power, ATP is the energy pathway that is utilized. Some examples are power lifts, high jumps, javelin throws, golf swings, and tennis serves. When it comes to sustained power, ATP and PCR is the predominant energy pathway being used. Some examples that use the sustained power are sprints, fast breaks, football line play, and gymnastics routines. Anaerobic tests are divided into tests measuring anaerobic power and anaerobic capacity. Anaerobic power tests include force velocity tests, vertical jump tests, staircase tests, and cycle ergometer tests. Coaches, trainers, and athletes at all levels of competition believe in the benefit of some type of mild physical activity or warm-up preceding vigorous exertion. It enables the performer to prepare either physiologically or psychologically for an upcoming event, and it also reduces likelihood of joint and muscle injury. A warm-up is classified into two categories. The first category is a general warm-up, which is pretty much a light walk just to increase blood flow. The second category is a specific warm-up, which pertains to the activity that one is trying to perform. Without these warm-ups, there is a higher chance of getting a joint and muscle injury or flexing out during a workout or sports performance.
All right, no pain, no gain. One of the biggest myths, probably to this day, in the fitness industry. You hear this all the time. You hear it in movies, you hear it in magazines, you hear it in the internet, and you even hear this in the gym. I've heard people in the gym come up and complain about something hurting on their body, and they say, no pain, no gain. That's not necessarily true. There are two types of pain that are associated with this saying. There's the pain that is actually good for you, where you want to build muscle and grow strength. And that's the pain when you're doing exercise and you feel that stretch in your muscle and you're ripping those muscle fibers to actually gain some strength and gain some size. That's a good pain. The other pain is kind of your chronic pain, where it can actually hurt you in the long run, or it can cause an injury right now that's going to set you out of the gym or any exercise or any race that you'll ever have coming up. So that's not something you want to do. So not necessarily this saying, it's true, but it's untrue at the same time. But you don't want to push yourself. If you have a pain that you know is going to cause injury, then stop, heal yourself. Don't put yourself out in any more danger than what you already are. Another thing that comes with the saying is muscle soreness to long injury. When you exercise, you're going to have muscle soreness the next day. If your muscle soreness continues for a prolonged period of time, then obviously that's not soreness anymore. You probably injured yourself a little bit deeper into that. But definitely take account into this. Don't really listen to no pain, no gain. You have to listen to your body. If you feel pain and you think it's going to hurt you in the long run, then stop, rest, don't push yourself anymore. But that's probably one of the biggest myths we have to this day right now.
And that concludes our segment on anaerobic energy systems. Thanks for watching.